When it comes to supreme powerful beings and entities in anime, the Chinese seem to create the most broken ones of them all. And the Immortal King, Wang Ling, is a prime example of an OP character. For today, we'll be recapping the most important events that took place in the anime and their significance to the plot, while trying as much as possible not to go into major spoilers and so on. The anime kicks off with the city being torn into pieces and in shambles with the populace on the run. I mean, who wouldn't run for their lives with the king of demons attacking them ruthlessly with the sole purpose of ruling the world and enslaving humanity? Wait, the almighty demon king is just an overgrown frog? That's one hell of a letdown. Anyway, the mages are evacuating everyone from the city, and their squad leader gets to meet the one and only Wang Ling, who was a toddler at that time, and this man is said to be the one who defeated the demon back then. 10 years after the defeat of the Demon King, life returned to its normal course thanks to the brave wizards that defeated the demon and destroyed his body. Wang Ling is a teenager right about now and is joining the Magical Academy. To categorize the students into their classes and discover their power, they subject them to a test to signify just how much spiritual power they have. The test is held in a room filled with a liquid that gave me Kurama vibes, and in the middle of that room is the sealed spiritual form of the frog. The same demonic frog that terrorized the world years ago has become a plaything for humans and a lab rat of sorts. One student after another and a failure after failure until Chen Chao gives it a shot. He's the descendant of a renowned martial artist family and has enough spiritual power to pass with a score of 938. With him passing, the morale of the rest of the students was boosted and they gave it their all. After him, Guo Hao scored 886 points. Now it was time for the cute, elegant, and powerful female lead, Sun Rong. This girl possesses a high spiritual level and the strength of character and elegance to back it up. She enters the room and attacks the frog furiously to the point of pushing it back a few feet, something none of the students before her were able to accomplish. And with the backlash of her attack, she's flung into the air, landing perfectly on her feet, flexing her powers to everyone with the score of 2019. Sun Rong has the highest score out of everyone. Well, at least she did. Her score didn't last that long, as it was Wang Ling's turn to test his power. Once he entered, the frog began to shiver, and clearly it was visible how afraid he was, and it's natural to be afraid of the one that killed him. You see, the truth of what happened back then is that the mages were killed off one by one, and the one that actually defeated the demon was a young Wang Ling. He just pranced over there holding his snack bag in his hand and proceeded in one-shotting the frog with a kick to the chin that KO'd him instantly. Back to the present, Wang Ling is trying his hardest to seal his powers and tone them down as much as possible. He even has a seal placed on him made by his father to stop his powers from going out rampant. Alas, all his attempts failed, and even though he didn't even touch the frog, the sheer pressure from his immense power caused a great explosion, and once the smoke resided, the frog laid on his back, dying. But the surprise was that the score display screen malfunctioned and displayed an infinite number showing everyone just how damn powerful he is. One thing leads to another, and he charmed his classmate Sun Rong into falling head over heels for him. Oh, and did I mention that he summoned the frog back to life and turned him into a dog? Yeah, that happened too. With Sun Rong affected by the spell, she asks him out in front of the whole class, to which he has no answer until his teacher asked him to come with him to the dean's office. Once inside, the teacher is dismissed, and the dean grovels on his knees calling Wang Ling sensei. Apparently, he discovered that Wang Ling was that same child who beat the Demon King back then. The incident the dean still takes credit for till this day. Wang isn't fond of his identity being discovered, so he uses amnesia 50% to erase his memories of the incident as a whole, and just like that, he left the office. Since Sun Rong is from a wealthy family with a high spiritual level, certain people find that annoying and want to get rid of her. While on her date with Wang Ling under the effect of the spell, two hitmen follow suit and attempt to kill Sun Rong on multiple occasions, with Wang thwarting their efforts every time, and erasing everyone's memories in the process to keep his powers a secret, just like he did with the Dean. The best part, though, was him catching a bullet with his freaking teeth and throwing it back at the sender. If this wasn't a straight-up gangster moment, I have no idea what qualifies as one then. At the end of the day, he defeats the assassins permanently, and this time, he doesn't erase Sun Rong's memories. Instead, he tells her to keep it a secret between them. Things get complicated later on with the school competition drawing near. It's a competition that is held between different schools in order to test out their students in an event called the Battle of the Sword. In this battle, 5 participants on each team will fight for domination over landmarks. There's the water, wood, earth, fire, and iron. To control these platforms, a student has to hold the sword inside of it for 10 consecutive seconds to register the points as theirs. The requirements to participate are for students to have the strongest and highest spiritual pressure in their school. This is when we are introduced to the opposing students, and their leader, appearing to be the strongest, uses the gauntlet on his hand to calculate how powerful his spiritual strength is, and he scores the highest in the country. For now, that is. With a score of 4,379, he thought himself a god. Hol Sung-rong scored 4,015 right behind him. But now it was time for the main event, and even though he restrained himself and had a seal on his power, score was null and his orb was shot way into space since it was even larger than Earth. With this, Wang Ling accidentally scored the highest in the country. And just like that, the school had 4 candidates on its hands for the competition of the sword, short on one more member. The dean coerced the dog, frog, demon thingy to compete and score higher than 5,000. And if they win in return, he will free him, and just like that, he scores a perfect 5,000, just below Wang Ling. The competition is soon going to be underway, but an unwanted guest, to say the least, joins the battle. She's the leader of the Shadow Sect, the ones attempting to kill off Sun Rong. The competition starts, and the other school clearly has an advantage, securing 3 monuments right off the bat. Watching his team being pushed back, Wang Ling had to do something about it. So, he started to roam from one land to another, recapturing the points, but numbers beat courage after all, and all Wang Ling was able to do was maintain a score of 1-4. Having grown tired of this cat and mouse game, he decides to go all out and use his speed to capture all points almost instantly. One problem in his logic though, the fact that he needs to hold each sword for 10 seconds before marking a point assists, so no matter how fast he was, it would have made no difference. Finding himself locked in a cage like a bird with no way out, he reaches out to his teammates and devises a plan to turn the tide in their favor. With him fused with the dog, they lost a member of their 5, but he also got rid of the one already from the other team, which evened the scales a bit. One of the competitors decided to keep a close eye on Wang Ling, so he wouldn't leave his point during that time. Go Hao and Sun Rong headed off to capture the Flame Monument, while Cheng headed to the Earth one. You see in this plan, Wang Ling never was the ace in the hole. The real aces were Gao Hao and Cheng. With this powerful display of power, they were able to turn the tide and secure the points, making it 4-1 to their favor. They didn't stop at that though. Wang Ling went ahead and managed to gain the Wood Shrine, too, gaining all the points just like that. You see, during the powerful display of Cheng and Gao, the girl watching Ling got distracted, and he used that moment to undo his head off to the Wood Shrine, while the dog remained disguised as him. The day was a complete success, and it was the victory of Wang Ling and his classmates. All was well until the unthinkable happened. The leader of the Shadow Sect, yes, that bitch, was actually disguised all that time as one of the competitors just to get close to Sun Rong and deal the final blow. The Shadow Sect leader was so powerful, she shattered Sun Rong's soul with just one punch and killed her. Caught off guard, Wang is able to sense her soul departing her body as she gave him a hug before dissipating and her body falling to the ground. The main female that the OPMC loves died, and her killer is laughing and boasting about it. I guess we know by now what this means and what comes next. Rage mode unleashed, and just in an instant Wang Ling lost full control, breaking all the seals and limiters on its power, and just went into a literal blinding rage. The dog attempts to interfere and stop him by stopping the flow of time itself. But even then, it wasn't enough to end his rage, and he broke free of the time control spell and proceeded in tearing her to pieces, with nothing held back and screaming and roaring in his rage, pain, and anguish. And just witnessing him going all out, destroying everything, sent chills down the spines and reminded me of when Ichigo became a Vasto Lord and just mopped the floor with Ukora. It just gave off the same energy in this scene. After his rage subsided and he pummeled her literally into the ground, he regained control and went back to Sun Rong, trying to heal or revive her, with the dog telling him that it's over and she's only alive momentarily because he stopped time. So, what does he do? He defies the gods and all creation and reverses the flow of time. Some events later happen that I won't spoil, but Sun Rong comes back to life since even death fears Wang Ling and want nothing to do with it. This was the end of an eventful season, and Season 2 holds even more exciting stuff to check out, with new allies joining the team, as well as old and new enemies showing up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, as much as I had fun making it for you. I would appreciate it if you guys like, subscribe, comment, and press that bell icon to keep you updated of all our videos. Until next time, see ya!